Okay, I believe we're live here. Again, hey everyone. It's November 2nd. It's 8 a.m. Hawaii time, and it's about 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm just a few minutes late. And I'm just so thankful that you're all here joining me. I see a number of you just sort of jumping on. Now, this second live that I wanted to put together was based on the sort of the ebook that I shared last week. And there were 4 strategies to overcoming and managing stress. I had shared my story about, how I even came to the point where I was going to be on social media. I came to the point where I had decided to start an online business. And when I did that, I also already came with experience on managing a lot of the things that I started to see people are dealing with on social media, like self-doubt, managing their stress, their busy, hectic lives, and then their longing and curiosity for how to make passive income, how to do a side hustle, how to improve their finances. So I've done that, sort of in my messages on my social media, and I'm here to share a few more of those messages. So my story here, so on my Facebook Live, I'm going to share my screen, but my story here talks about, I was like many of you. I just had my careers. I have a background in human resources and a background in education administration. And I did, like many of you did, many of you did, the plans to get certified, to, do what you need to do to sort of make your way up the corporate ladder, yeah, in your line of work. So you've committed to your job, over these years. You've put in the time, stayed late, came early, became flexible, assisted others. You just continue to do that and work your way. And that's what I did. But then just out of the blue, with changes in my organization, I guess, I had a new supervisor come in and make some really, really what I thought were very hasty decisions, to change things up. So they had another plan, and it impacted me. And I got basically, folks, it was just a meeting that I wasn't aware of going to happen. I wasn't prepared about why it was happening. And I got a letter saying that my position was changing. My purpose, my setting was all changing without me even having any input into it or having any mentorship about why they make those changes. So anyway, that happened. And you can do a number of things, right? When you are blindsided in your day or in your career, you can get very angry, you can be very emotional, you can yell, you can scream, you certainly have some consequences to that too. Or you can sort of regroup and sort of get an idea about, what's really important to you. And that's what happened to me. So that meeting occurred, and I certainly had to regroup. I had to get together with my family, who were also very upset by the decision and the changes. And what did it mean? What did it mean to all of us? And basically, I came home and I had to tell them that, okay, this is awful, but it's not life-threatening, right? I have my health. I have my relationships. I still have my home. I have employability, right? I have still so much more to offer my community and offer my life with the skills that I've acquired over the 30 plus years of working. So a change was made in my job, and I had to just understand it and search for the lesson behind the change, right? And the lesson I found, was that I had to be a leader in my household. Again, I had to show my family that um, how to be more focused on what's important. Ultimately, a job where you're working for someone else, where they, all of your value, all of your innovation, all of your determination um, turns into some sort of product or service or profit, and it doesn't come to you. It comes to you in a form of a paycheck, but there's no way that your real value, that you're being compensated for your real value and what you bring to your job. Okay? And so once I knew that that was happening, then I had to regroup. And like many of you, and I've said it on social media here, I started scrolling and I understood that, okay, hey, I have to regroup here. So I did, right? And I scrolled and I learned, because instantly you get on and you can decide either to just be entertained or you can learn, right? So I looked into that, and of course I came across many things, right? And the point of today is I'm going to sort of talk about those stress managing strategies, but certainly the other things I found on the social media as I was scrolling was about, making income, being an online entrepreneur or an entrepreneur of sorts, not just online, affiliate marketing, marketing, digital marketing, email marketing, and all sorts of new and fascinating terms and ideas that, if you're coming from a 9 to 5, having, 20 plus years, even 10 or 5 years in your 9 to 5, and you're not exposed to those ideas, online entrepreneurship, digital marketing, email marketing, affiliate marketing, and so forth. If you're not in that world per se, you have no idea what's going on out here. You have no idea what the earning potential is just based on the value that you bring as a person, the essence that you have. And it's mind blowing. So it takes time to sort through all that information. There's just shiny things flashing across the screen that makes it interesting to you. Okay? So I'm going to stop here and just sort of look at our comments here. Hey, Sing, Kamal, hello, hi there, how are you? Go ahead and put here in the comments or the chat, where are you on your journey of being here, joining me? What was it about this opportunity to be live and to sort of jump in that was interesting to you? I talk about you'll see it on my background there, that I'm with, my company is called Essential Digital Biz with Elima Hong. And in there, my message is that I'm trying to show you how to balance the acquisition or acquiring or achieving wealth while you maintain wellness. Now, those are very broad topics, and I get down to very thin sliced pieces of what it means to try to acquire that, and mainly to try to acquire balance. Hi, Breadman and the Cut. Some of these names are just awesome. I see you here. Yeah. So we continue here. Let me just see. One moment, yeah. I want to just continue to share my slide here. And if all of you stick around, okay, because I have a PDF worksheet that I'm going to share with you that I'm going to cover in our live today, and it's a PDF worksheet that'll just help you kind of gain insight into some of these stress managing strategies. It's very common that we all just endure the challenges of life, and we definitely we can all definitely benefit from one another, sharing strategies that work for them and work for us, and we could just share that here. So the point of this live, again, is just to, again, talk about really tiny slices, right? How important is it from people who are very excited, and we go onto social media and we talk about this, money earning opportunities or wellness opportunities, and we want to go from where we're at today all the way to step 100, step 0 to step 100. We just want to get there right away. We have really no idea whatsoever what it takes to go from 0 to 100. But what I'm here today to share with you is really to talk about step 0, where you're at today, to step 1, right? And there's a tiny slices, pie slices that occur, and tiny steps that occur in between step 0 to 1, that we can talk about. Okay? So mainly, step 0 is really, who are you today? Yeah? Step 0 is just, who are you? What are the challenges you're facing? What is it about you that is, I guess, has potential, right? So we all come with a certain set of skills, right? You could be in technology, you could be in retail, you could be in the restaurant business, you could be in education, health, just all sorts of things you could be involved in. You could be a student, stay-at-home mom or dad. You could be helping your parents, your elderly parents, or helping a family member also. Okay, so take a second and think about that. About that question is, who are you? And the reason we're asking that is because the message I have continuously shared in my account is just that. How do you improve yourself, improve your wealth and wellness to create balance and happiness? Yeah, that's my one sentence charge, my mission. Okay, improve your wealth and wellness and create balance and happiness. In order to do that, we have to sort of know who we are. Where are we at the moment? What do we struggle with? And when we can sort of hone in on those things, when we endure stress and challenges in our day, you are better equipped to know how to deal with it. Okay. So these are, sort of 3 points I'm going to put out there. So for you to rank where you're at, right, in this journey of knowing who you are in the moment, okay? You need to be aware and understand where we're at today. So where are you? How do you describe yourself? Are you brand new to learning about self-awareness? Is that a brand new term to you? Or are you maybe number 2? Have you heard of the benefits of a positive mindset and, of course, self-awareness? Or number 3, you are aware of it, you are familiar with the description, and you may practice some, and you may already use some strategies to combat stress, right? And practice mindfulness. So you're there. You're right there. So at this quick moment, I'm going to just say hi to Colin. Hey there. And sing again. Now go ahead and share this live with your friends. Anybody who could use some of these strategies to sort of manage adversity or challenges in your day. Go ahead and share that. Comment, to me below here. Let me know, where are you? Are you aware of self-awareness or not? You might be brand new to the concept. Are you aware of the benefits of a positive mindset? Or you're not? And or do you have your own set of strategies that you use to combat stress, yeah, and practice mindfulness? I'd also encourage everyone to consider joining my Facebook group. It's noted there above. It's called Essential Digital Biz with Lima Hong. And in our group, we talk about a number of topics where we can either dive into how to create balance with wellness, with a positive mindset, and what do people go through and encounter when it comes to that. And there's also an aspect of the group that you learn about passive income. You learn about the wealth aspect, right? But it's something that takes time and understanding, and we go over that in more detail in the group. Again, Essential Digital Biz with Lima Hong. So along with just the general understanding where you're at, right? Acknowledging that challenges are around you every day, right? Then you can sort of get a gauge over maybe what emotions were you feeling around those challenges. And I'm just going to use working in our jobs as my example, okay? So working in your jobs, what are the emotions that you encounter in the course of your day around your job? So I'll just throw some out there, and you go ahead and put that in the comments here. Are you unhappy or are you fulfilled? Right? Are you frustrated, or do you have a clear idea about what you're doing at your job? Are you uncomfortable because of this reason or that? Or are you confident? Are you very confident about what you're doing, about your purpose, about how you interact in your job? Or are you at the point of desperation where you're wanting to get out, but you just don't know where to start? Or are you at the point where you are completely assured that this is where you need to be? Okay? I'd say, however many people are on this live or on the replay at some point, that over half of you have experienced some of those more negative emotions around your employment. Okay? And let's think about those emotions again. Right? It was unhappy, frustrated, uncomfortable, or desperate. Now, although you can experience those emotions periodically, even in the most ideal job, but there are certain things that you have to know deep within that help you overcome those negative emotions in your job, that you push through, right? But honestly, if you're finding that you're feeling these unhappy, frustrated, uncomfortable, or feelings of desperation in the course of your day repeatedly throughout the week while you're at your job, it's a serious time. It's time to consider some other method of earning income, even if it were on the side for now, so that these emotions can be relieved, right? Because it's not about the money necessarily, okay? Because you could be in a job that at least just provides for you and your family and yourself, but it gives you so much pride and confidence and feeling a strong self-esteem about what you're giving to the community, that the pay would be okay for you, right? As long as you're providing for yourself and your family, right? And if you think about it, spending so much time at your workplace and getting those negative emotions on a regular basis, conjured up because of the stress at the work or the people you work with or the type of work it is or the fact that you just feel you could do more, you could gain more, then again, it's time for you to just look at other options, right? While you're working your 9 to 5. And maybe you'll find that these other options with hard work and investment and time, but that can replace or exceed your 9 to 5 income while bringing you the more favorable positive emotions, such as feeling fulfilled, such as having clarity about what you're doing, having confidence about what you're doing, because you're learning a system that makes a lot of sense. A lot of times we're in our 9 to 5, and because our supervisors make the decisions and our super supervisors make the decisions, it doesn't make a lot of sense to us. And we're at the front line doing the work, but anyway. So if you were in your own business, you'd have that confidence because you'd know why you're making the decisions to either make changes or remain in the type of work you're doing. And lastly, you could have the assurance, right? The assurance that you're doing something you want to do and earning money to provide for yourself. So emotions and our acquisition of money or our pursuit in our job or career, they go hand in hand. Okay? They go hand in hand, and one impacts the other. And that's why balance is so important. And that's my message, right? I'll go back to what my message is. My overarching message in my account here is to improve your wealth and wellness to create balance and happiness. It's very simple. The message is simple. The tasks take practice and commitment. Okay. So again, think about that, what you were feeling, right? When you're at your job or if you're a student, you're in college or you're in high school or you are pursuing your goal, okay? And challenges come across your way, right? How a circle of people talk to you or at you, okay? How you might have to cover the work of someone else. I've done that a lot, right? My line of work. You cover it because that's an important, quality of your work or quality of the work of the team is important to you. And therefore, when you find that somebody is not, carrying their weight on your team, then you need to do it, right? You need to get it into completion. You need to make sure it's accurate. You need to make sure that it's done properly with quality, and therefore you do other people's work, okay? You may also find in your job or in the space you're in that there's inequity, okay? There's an unequal treatment of people around you versus how you're treated. And you start to notice that. Now, if you're the personality type that, you don't want confrontation and you don't really, want to stir things up, then you're going to tolerate a lot of that. But don't knock yourself because it's there, right? Don't just try to brush it aside because it is there. Yeah, inequity, unequal treatment in the workplace occurs for many of us. However, if you're a little more assertive and you recognize that and you speak up, then maybe it's resolved. Maybe the person who is doing the treatment, I guess, weren't aware of that. So you can provide insight and clarification for them, right? But if you find that you've already spoken up about something at work that's challenging and unfair to you, and it's met with, okay, yeah, we'll look into it, or why don't you go talk to such and such, If you find yourself being bounced around when you are trying to address something that really is bothering you, then again, it's time to take a look around and see, is this really the setting you want to be in, right? And maybe it's time that you find something that you can do on the side, you know, earning some side income, learning how to do a side hustle or a side business while you keep your 9 to 5. Okay? And you can find this information again, as I mentioned, my message is to continue to help others improve your wealth and your wellness and create happiness and balance. And you can find more of that information in my Facebook group, Essential Digital Biz, with Ilima Hong, where I have free training, definitely about improving your wealth, and then additional insight and conversations around creating balance and your wellness. So the one thing I wanted to share today, again, was a complete actionable step to helping you create that balance, okay? We've talked about what you might be going through. We talked about my story, about what I went through at my workplace and how I needed to not overreact, not blame, not crawl under a rock because things changed so drastically with my work. But I had to regain the confidence in myself. I had to regroup and remind myself that I have so much potential still. I have so much opportunity. I have still so much skills sets and potential to learn new skills that I'm a survivor, right? I'm going to keep going through this. So along the way, like I mentioned, I was scrolling through social media and came across a couple of ideas about earning a side income and a number of accounts that I read through about dealing with stress, and the challenges. And that's up my alley because my background in human resources and my background in school counseling and education administration, that's my wheelhouse. You know, I talk to so many people, employees, about career development and employee relations, so mediation between employees. And then in education, I talk to students and parents and the community about aspiring for their goals and about overcoming some of those obstacles that are in their way, from social issues, you know, in the household, to economical issues they have, to interpersonal issues. So that's why I don't feel at all limited in talking about this, but I don't want to. I want to value all of our time here, and I'm so excited to share the worksheet that I have for you. Okay. So in your worksheet, you're going to see, and I sure hope I can add that PDF here. In fact, I'm going to add that PDF right now so that I can make sure I have that PDF for you. Okay. Oops, not there. So in my PDF, it's called, here, let me get this, copy link. I hope you guys can copy link. In my PDF, it should be fillable, okay? I worked hard on that for it to be fillable, but we'll see. If it is not fillable, comment. Then go ahead and just look at the, go ahead and just look at the PDF and follow along, yeah? Sorry. And the PDF will also be placed in the Facebook group too, where you're going to, let me just put it in the Facebook group here. I'll put it in down below. Looks like, I don't know if my TikTok got frozen, but the worksheet really helps you determine what your zero is, right? You fill it out there, and you answer a couple questions. So let's go over the questions. The first question is, describe why you think it is important to be aware of your zero, right? And we talked about that. You know, where are you at today? Describe, you know, the skill sets that you have today and the confidence that you might have in your potential for developing new skills. Okay. I don't know why am I just checking if my is my video. I'll ask, still running, or am I frozen? Okay, just checking if my video is still running, or am I frozen, because on the TikTok it's frozen. Okay, but anyway, back to the worksheet. Yeah, it's basically about describing where you're at, where's your zero. We talked about where your feelings are about your current job. Hi, user 309. Glad you joined us. Go ahead and look in the comments. If you're just joining us now, look in the comments for the worksheet. I'm hoping you can open it up. It's just a PDF, and it should be fillable. So I'm hoping you can see that. If you are able to see me, if I'm talking okay on TikTok, can you please mention in the comments that it's still running? Because on my end, it doesn't look like it is. But I'll keep going. So then another question on the worksheet is, describe how you overcome negative feelings towards your job. Okay? And then we can see here that the strategy that I have reviewed in the last live was called deep breathing. So deep breathing, right, is the method where you're breathing in and you hold for a few seconds, and then you release the breath for a few seconds all the way out, and then you repeat. This is also referred to as box breathing, and so that's why it's sort of, imagine that it's 4 sides. So you would breathe in and hold it, breathe out and hold for a second, and then breathe back in and hold for a few seconds and breathe out. Yeah, so it would form a square that way, or an image in your head. And this strategy really helps. And it's so convenient. I mean, it's right there, but you have to remember to, you actually have to remember to do it, right? You're at the point where, if you're at the point where you are, if you're at the point where you are feeling challenged, and you feel your heart beating faster, and you're feeling a little lightheaded, and you're like under stress, then take that quick opportunity and do your deep breathing, right? That's going to be the number one strategy. This strategy is very simple, convenient. It's right there for you to do, and you can do it anywhere. And really, you're just trying to get yourself collected, and so you can think clearly and you can interact again, you know, in a very confident way. Yeah. You find yourself running into that, you know, a lot, then use that strategy. Go ahead and use that strategy. So hi, Evan, CC 87. Good that you're here. We're still just talking about the worksheet that I put up already in the comments. I hope you can go ahead and click that, open one up for yourself. And hi, Cheeto 856. We're talking about here with everyone just the ability to balance. You know, if you're in a challenging situation at work, you know, how do you sort of regroup, collect yourself, and still continue to make it through the day? We talked about, you know, what some of those challenges are at work and what are the emotions that you might feel at work. And that can be negative and very positive emotions. Don't mistake this time that I'm talking with you about discrediting or, you know, hammering your 9 to 5, because it may be very fulfilling. Absolutely. Hi, Tristan Ball. Thanks for joining. Go ahead and see again, everyone, my PDF worksheet in the comment. Go ahead and open that up. We talked about the main strategy today to help you overcome stress, which is deep breathing, right? I shared that book last time that we were live, and it has 4 strategies. But today I just wanted to go over one that I hope, you know, just kind of is, again, it's easy to access because it is deep breathing. Again, it's breathing, you know, let's say you're going through a challenging situation and you can step away for a minute. You can breathe in deeply, you know, for 4 counts and hold your breath for 4 counts and then breathe out every last piece of air in your chest. Breathe it all out and hold that for 2 seconds or so. Yeah, and then return to regular breathing and then breathe in again and do that over like about 3 times. In, hold, out, hold. You know, take a quick 2 seconds, breathe regular, then breathe in again, hold, out, hold, and breathe regular again. So that is called deep breathing, and they also call it box breathing because you are, you know, breathing in and out and in and out. It sort of gives you that image of a box. Hi, McQueen. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Elima Hong. My Facebook group is called Essential Digital Biz with Elima Hong, where I talk about balancing the acquisition or striving for wealth, but also wellness. Yeah, because they go hand in hand. We talked about that here with the emotions that you might go through currently at your 9 to 5 and how you have to know what they are. You have to know how to manage them. And ultimately, if you want to pursue, you know, maybe even earning a side income while you're in your 9 to 5, there's options in my Facebook group to learn how to do that. Particularly, I have something that's quite different than many other groups. I have an affiliate program that doesn't require digital marketing. There's many affiliate programs that require that you learn how to do digital marketing, right? How to build a sales funnel, how to connect that to an auto email responder, all right? How to run email marketing, okay? So those are great programs, and I'm in one of them, that's for sure. But the other one I have on my site does not require that. The training is also free and quick and very understandable. And anyone can get started, you know, basically. And you don't have to do a lot of, you don't have to have the, you know, the cell phone, the laptop, the Wi-Fi consistently. You can actually just embark after you learn the training, which takes only about 2 hours, then you can actually start your program. So thank you again for everyone coming to see my live video on Facebook and on TikTok. You know, I hope you can see the worksheet. It's in my comments on this live. Please go ahead and go ahead and download it for yourself. It should be fillable. You could kind of just go through. Hi, Denver. You could kind of just go through and pick that worksheet up and keep it for yourself. I'm going to be here again next Wednesday, 8 a.m. HST time and 2 p.m. EST, Eastern. So next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I hope everyone has a great day. I hope this was helpful to you. You know, just creating balance between pursuing, you know, a different income source or a side income source while you stay at your 9 to 5, as well as learning the positive mindset you need to maintain that. You know, that's going to be important too. Thanks for joining, Blessed. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Let me know if you can pick up that PDF. You might not be able to pin this comment. I pinned it. Oh, it wouldn't let me pin it. Shucks. Or go ahead and go to my account if you're on TikTok, but go to my account and jump into the Facebook group, and I'll have the worksheet there also, right? And every live that I go on, I'm going to have a free PDF worksheet for you to sort of work on, as well as when you join my group in Facebook, Essential Digital Biz with Elima Hong, then you'll see that there's other very useful material and things that sort of just help you along your way. Again, we're moving you from step 0 to 1, right? We're not going to 100. We're moving from step 0 to 1 and the various, you know, little tiny steps that it takes to get there. Thanks so much for watching. And again, I hope everyone has a great day.